School is general, education is personal. I welcome you into another episode of Life Unscripted. It's been a long time. I know you've missed me, but you have no idea. I miss you more. Just in case it's your first time, this series is tagged Life Unscripted. And in Life Unscripted, we show you how you can be able to become a student for life over academic sessions or within the four walls of a formal education for optimum and sustainable success in all facets of life. And so, understanding that shows you that life is unscripted. You only need the discipline to pick up a pen and a paper to actually write or rewrite your script. And so, for that reason, I want to basically share an insight concerning when people begin to lament, why does things happen to me? God, why? God, when? All sorts of those things. But before we go into that, if it is your first time, of course, hit the subscribe button as well as the notification bell to get a notification when the next content drops. And if it's your first time on Facebook, go ahead and click on that follow button because that is one of the best decisions you're going to make in your life this year and beyond. And of course, I'm going to share with you in this series. Now, like I told you, a lot of people are in the dilemma of why does some things happen to me? Everything ugly, everything this, everything that. I teach a lot about networking and building sustainable relationships to people. And one thing I normalize telling people is that people come into your life for two reasons because I had to redefine the concept of wrong people in our lives because we don't understand the purpose of people in our life. People come for two basic reasons, for blessing and for lesson. It depends on if you are willing to learn from each person who comes into your life. So the same thing happens. I think there was a wise man, and I think I read it in a book where someone said that things don't happen to you, things happen for you. Why? Because it is 1% what happens to you and 99% how you react to it. So the difference here is how you react to what happens is actually what makes a whole lot of difference because what happens is an event, but the progress is what do you do with what happened. Yeah, I get that. So basically, things don't happen wrong. Maybe you have the wrong expectation, or maybe you have the wrong concept about how life works. And so sometimes there are unrealistic expectations. So if it doesn't work like that, you feel that something wrong is going on. But for every mess, there is a message, and for every event, there is a purpose. But are you willing to be able to decipher what the purpose is? That's where the question is. So I'm asking you right now, yes, the event has happened. You can't change it, right? For instance, you can't stop the sun from shining during dry season majorly, but you can create a shade for yourself so it doesn't hurt your skin or your crops. Exactly. So those measures that you take because you don't want things to go wrong, or maybe you want things to get better regardless of whatever thing, is what makes the better version of you. And it takes you being a student for life to pay attention what you can learn per event rather than what happened. So one thing I want to establish with you today is that things don't happen to you truly. Things happen for you. And how you transit is having the concept about always asking yourself, what did I learn from this? So there are sometimes some people will come and share bad stories. They can come and share sad experiences around you, right? For instance, someone shares, maybe someone died and then they came to you, I lost my this, I lost my that. Instead of saying in the sympathy or fantasizing, trying to encourage, while you are doing that for the person who is crying or in that sober reflection season, you also need to identify that two things that happen when things happen for you to translate it to be the things that happen for you is that everything that happened does number one caution you and number two counsels you. Now if for example, like I was saying, someone shared that he lost someone, right, and it's a tragic moment for the person, encourage the person, lift up the face of the person, but you are in the reflection of, if I die today, what would I be remembered for? Because already this person is dead. You start asking questions about what was the life of the person about. What exactly are you missing in this person? You will see that people will begin, when people lose someone, watch the things that they say. It's always who they are on what impact they have made in their lives more than it is about the event. So when they are crying, who is going to listen to me when I'm this? Who is going to? That's the way they cry because they have someone who have been giving them listening ear and the person is no more there. So there is a vacuum, and that's why they feel the way they feel. So, for instance, when you are gone, how many people are going to feel that way that someone great left their lives? So, if there's something or if there's an attribute of yours that you need to work on in order that you become a better person, that event has already counseled you to be able to get things done. Or it cautions you to, every event, like when I say caution, it cautions you to a point whereby it keeps you in check. You said you were going to be great. And then this event now sprouted, oh, these are the things I said I'm going to do. Because this happened, is calling my attention to this. Why am I saying all of these things? The thin line between what happened and how you can translate it to progress is actually paying attention, becoming a student for life. A student for life is the one who is eager to learn. You are always, anything that happens to you in your life, you are always paying attention to what can I learn? Yes, these things have happened. I cannot change it. What can I learn? That's what makes you a student for life. And from what can you learn, you begin to demystify the purposes of the events in your life. You begin to translate and write a script that is exceptionally powerful. Because most people who mentors you today are not babies in the school of success because they have failed in that particular thing they are teaching you. And because they know what it feels like to fail and they have succeeded after failing, they can now mentor you. So you are a baby in the school of music, in the school of success, to the degree that you have not failed at all. So one of the basic things you have to pay attention to is to become first. When I say become, it's all about you. I was speaking with my friend yesterday and I was telling her how, as a wife, I have decided that I'm going to take more classes on intentional parenting. Let me prepare my mind. She told me something very profound. She said, most times, because she has a child now, so she said, most times we always pay attention to learning these things so that we can instruct our children. But the major work is on us who are the parents because we transforming our lives creates the conducive environment that these children will thrive effortlessly. So she was giving me an instance of what her child is doing. That because the environment she has created with him, the husband, and everyone around them is an atmosphere of gratitude. Any slightest thing that you do for the child, he will always say thank you. And that is the power of environment. So I paused a bit. He said the intentional parenting class is good, but where the work is on you first. That is where the work is because children, they actually model more than they want to pay attention to instruction. And that's the problem. Yeah, I started reflecting on that with the way I was trained and everything. Why we think that our children are stubborn is because we are not even models of what we are preaching. So I'm now like, what can I learn from this? And you see, as I'm even sharing with you, there are learning experience or something that you can even connect with concerning all of these things. So when you say that tragedy is happening, understand that there is a purpose to it. And until you become a student for life, you can't make progress with that event. Until you become a student for life, you think that everything wrong happens to you. Until you become a student for life, you won't be able to demystify purposes per event. Until you become a student for life, you won't be able to identify the messages of the season and how you can transit per time. So it is very, very critical you pay attention not just to what happened, but what you can learn from what happened. That way you are able to transit what happened to what can be better. And I hope this makes a lot of sense to you. Don't forget, we are building confident global champions, and it takes a whole lot of courage to be able to take responsibility. That's why, in this concept, becoming a student for life demands that you stop pointing hands on the blame game and focus on the ones that are pointing back at you to take responsibility of that thing that you want to change. Because if four fingers If four fingers are directly pointing back at you, it means that a lot of work is demanded for you for that one change. So stop the blame game and take responsibility today by typing CGC in the comment section to become one. All right. Or you hit the link in the description of my channel if you're watching on YouTube. If you're watching on Facebook, go ahead and click on that follow button or that link on my bio so that we have that conversation and be able to help you to craft out that product, craft out that brand from those things that have happened to you. You are struggling, you don't have money, things are happening to you, but those things are business ideas you have not been paying attention to. Those things are actually concepts that can help people's life because you have gone through them, has given you the license to actually help other people not to go through that. So it is time for you to translate these things by becoming a student for life. And I hope you don't take these things for granted. Well, anyway, if you take it for granted, you will pay more expensively in the nearest future trying to get the knowledge that could have been easier for you. So you are not doing me a favor. You are actually doing yourself a favor because your becoming and your rising is the rising up of many who are around you. So if you want things to change because things doesn't get better, you only have to get better. That is the guarantee. That's why even AI, as AI is coming, people are so getting all feisty. Why are they getting all feisty about AI? AI is going to take jobs. Why are you afraid? It's because you have not attained a level of capacity. It's because you have not attained a level of becoming. Because AI cannot exactly interpret what this brain that God has given you to create can do. So AI is an assistant, it's a technology. So don't get afraid, become so that you can be able to build the confidence on the skills that you do have that will help you use that AI to your advantage to be able to expand that which you are called to do. I hope this makes a lot of sense to you, and I can't wait to be able to see you in the next episode. Don't forget that I am your go-to-get edupreneur and the founder of Confident Global Champions, Mrs. 𝗟𝗲𝗦𝗃𝗃𝗃. And until I see you again in the next episode of Life Unscripted, don't forget that it only takes your discipline to pick up a pen and a paper to write or rewrite your script. And of course, life is designed for you to stand on your feet. So in my next series, I'm going to share with you my lessons for this month. I hope you are ready. Let's do this again. Bye for now.